I'm going to read from Matthew now. It's the Message version and it's starting at chapter 21. The Royal Welcome. When they neared Jerusalem, having arrived at Bethphage on Mount Olives, Jesus sent 2 disciples with these instructions. Go over to the village across from you. You'll find a donkey tethered there, her colt with her. Untie her and bring them to me. If anyone asks what you're doing, say, the Master needs them. He will send them with you. This is the full story of what was sketched earlier by the prophet. Tell Zion's daughter, look, your king's on his way, poised and ready, mounted on a donkey, on a colt, foal of a pack animal. The disciples went and did exactly what Jesus told them to do. They led the donkey and the colt out, laid some of their clothes on them, and Jesus mounted. Nearly all the people in the crowd threw their garments down on the road, giving him a royal welcome. Others cut branches from the trees and threw them down as a welcome mat. Crowds went ahead and crowds followed, all of them calling out, Hosanna to David's son. Blessed is he who comes in God's name. Hosanna in highest heaven. As he made his entrance into Jerusalem, the whole city was shaken. Unnerved, people were asking, what's going on here? Who is this? The parade crowd answered, this is the prophet Jesus, the one from Nazareth in Galilee.
It's coming in with a bang and going out with a whimper in the eyes of many. That could be said to describe the last days of the life of Jesus leading up to the cross. One moment there was accorded a positively rapturous welcome as he rode into Jerusalem, and the next they were baying for his blood, declaring they had no other king but Caesar. It's a truly breathtaking turnaround, really, in his fortunes. And a reader coming to the story for the first time could be forgiven for thinking that those who welcomed Jesus as their king on Palm Sunday were sadly mistaken, misguided, if not deluded. Yet such a conclusion would be wrong, for as Holy Week reminds us, the betrayal, the arrest, the crucifixion of Christ were not some unfortunate error somehow rectified at Easter, but part of God's purpose, integral to the rule of the kingdom that Jesus came to bring. If we see him as sovereign, yet not as servant, as raised high without also being brought low, we have altogether missed the point.
I wonder what was going on in the minds of some of the people there that day. Here's a reflection from someone who may have been there in the crowd. You should have seen the crowd yesterday. All round him they were, rushing ahead, pushing behind, a seething mass surging through the city's gates, shouting themselves hoarse. They were ecstatic, waving palm branches in welcome and lining the way with their coats. Hosanna, they cried. Hosanna to the Son of David. Blessed be the Lord. And the one at the centre? A guy called Jesus, apparently, from up north in Galilee. The name rang a bell, for I'd heard tales of signs and wonders, a man who healed the sick, fed the multitude, stilled the storm, a prophet like none other, according to some. But you could have fooled me, for I saw nothing special about him, nothing to catch the eye, just an ordinary person like you and me. Yet still they cheered, still they chanted, as though he were Messiah himself, the Son of God, a conquering king. It's a puzzle, For I'd expected a fanfare of trumpets, were he that, a chariot of gold and a royal procession, not a man riding on a donkey. But he must have something about him to cause such a stir, some gift to win hearts and capture minds. I'm not sure what, not sure how, but I mean to find out. It's intriguing, isn't it? Too intriguing to ignore.